Hello students, this is Dr. Dakshayani, Assistant Professor from Department of Zoology, Maharani Science College for Women, Bengaluru. Students, in this session, let us study and understand about evolution of brain in mammals, taking rabbit as an example. The contents as follows: Introduction, evolution of brain of rabbit and its evolutionary significance. Students, in our previous sessions, we had learned in detail about evolution of brain in vertebrate group of animals. That is, origin and development of nervous system in vertebrates, emphasizing on development of central nervous system, which includes brain and spinal cord. We could also understand about the concept of basic structural plan of brain in vertebrates. That is, development of brain in all vertebrates follows a basic structural plan. That is, brain in all vertebrates consists of three basic parts, that is, forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. But the degree of development and differentiation of each part of the brain depends upon the animal where it is adapted to live. With this background, we had learnt in detail about evolution of brain in different classes of vertebrates, that is, brain of shark, frog, lizard and bird. So, in this session, let us study and understand about evolution of brain in mammals, taking rabbit as an example. Mammals, including humans, all mammals are warm-blooded vertebrates with hair, where they feed their young ones with the milk which is produced by the mammary glands. These mammals have a well-developed brain compared to all other vertebrates, where they have a most capacity of learning, hence they are considered as more intelligent vertebrates on the earth. The offsprings are fed and taken care by their parents for a relatively long time, which gives them plenty of time to learn from their parents. By learning, they can benefit from the experiences of their elders, where the ability to learn is the main reason that the large mammalian brain have been evolved, which is directly considered as a responsible for controlling an animal's interactions with its environment. And brain is often considered to be a flexible response to selection in changing environments. Maybe all these reasons is the success of mammals on the earth. Brain of rabbit is comparatively largest, which is more complex, most advanced, and it is specialized. It is broader and somewhat rhomboidal in shape, and it is whitish in color. Brain is situated in bony cranium in the skull, and it consists of the three main basic parts. One is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. In mammals, the brain and spinal cord is well protected by three meninges, that is three membranes. Inner membrane is called as the pia mater. The middle one is called the arachnoid, and the outer membrane is called as the dura mater. Totally, the brain and spinal cord in mammals is enclosed and protected by the three membranes, the pia mater, arachnoid and the dura mater. Between the arachnoid and the dura mater, it encloses a space called as the subdural space, and between the pia mater and the arachnoid, the space is called as the arachnoid space, where these two spaces are filled with a watery fluid called as cerebrospinal fluid. It runs over the brain and spinal cord and carries the nutrition and oxygen to brain and spinal cord. The slide shows the brain of rabbit of dorsal weave and the ventral weave. The brain consists of the three main basic parts: the forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. The first one is the forebrain, which consists of three components called as olfactory lobes, cerebrum and the diencephalon. The first one is the olfactory lobes. These olfactory lobes are situated at the anterior end of the cerebral hemispheres. You can have a look at the picture. The dorsal weave of the brain shows the position of the olfactory lobes, where they are situated right at the anterior end of the two cerebral hemispheres. These olfactory lobes are smaller in size. They are elongated and club shaped, and they are the organs of sense of smell. The parts of the olfactory lobes consists of olfactory tract, which is hidden beneath anterior end of the cerebral hemispheres, and they are provided with a small olfactory tract which are running along the cerebral hemispheres on the ventral side. The olfactory lobes, which are closely associated with the olfactory sacs. In mammals, olfactory lobes are better developed and they encloses a cavity called as the rhinocele. From the olfactory lobes, the first cranial nerve, the olfactory nerve, emerges out. The sense of smell in mammals comparably better, and it is well developed. The second part of the forebrain, that is the cerebral hemispheres. In mammals, cerebrum is very well developed and it forms the largest part of the brain, where it is the center of all the intellectual activities in mammals. The cerebrum is larger and it is narrow in front and broader behind. The entire cerebrum is divided into two cerebral hemispheres by a deep median longitudinal fissure, which results in right and left hemispheres. In mammals, the entire cerebrum is divided into two cerebral hemispheres, as well as it is divided into number of lobes by fissures, where the sylvian fissure divides the cerebral hemispheres into frontal and temporal lobes. The rhinal fissure demarcates the olfactory tract, and the hippocampal fissure or the sulcus fissure demarcates the hippocampal region into inner and outer lobes, that is into hippocampal lobes. In mammals, the surface of the cerebrum is not smooth, is thrown into foldings, and it is divided into number of lobes by the fissures, and based on the position of the cerebrum in the skull, the lobes are called as frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe. In mammals, cerebrum is very well developed and it is the center for all the intellectual activities like thinking, reasoning, learning, and memory. It is all because of the development of the cerebral cortex. That is, the surface of the cerebrum is thicker in mammals, where the cerebral cortex is very well developed and it is increased in their thickness due to the presence of 6-layered structure called as the neocortex. Compared to all other vertebrates, in mammals, the cerebral cortex is very well developed. It is increased in its thickness due to the deposition of the 6-layered structure called as the neocortex. Hence, the increased surface of the cerebral cortex in mammals, it is thrown into number of foldings and the gyri. The cerebrum encloses a cavity inside called as the paracele, where the roof of the paracele called as the pallium, it is well developed in mammals, and the floor of the paracele called as the corpora striata, it is relatively less developed and it is present in the ventrolateral walls. In mammals, the two cerebral hemispheres are interconnected by a dorsal transverse, a band of nerve tissue called as corpus callosum. This corpus callosum is present only in the mammals, where it connects the two cerebral hemispheres, and it is absent in all other vertebrates. In mammals as a whole, the cerebrum is very well developed. It forms the largest part of the brain. It is larger, divided into cerebral hemispheres, and it is also divided into number of cerebral lobes by the number of fissures. The cerebral cortex is very well developed, forms the neocortex, and the pallium is also well developed, and the corpus callosum connects the two cerebral hemispheres in the mammals. The slide shows the different cerebral lobes and its major function. Coming to the second part of the forebrain, that is the diencephalon. In mammals, diencephalon region is well developed, situated just behind the cerebral hemispheres, and it is completely overlapped by the cerebral hemispheres. The dorsal surface of the diencephalon is called as the epithalamus. The ventral surface of the diencephalon is called as the hypothalamus, and the lateral surface, that is lateral walls of the diencephalon, is called as the optic thalami. On the dorsal surface of the diencephalon, it possesses a slender pineal stalk which is directed posteriorly and possesses the small pineal body. On the ventral surface of the diencephalon, it possesses a small projection called as the infundibulum. With the hypophysis, it forms the pituitary body in mammals. The inferior lobes and saccus vasculosus are found to be absent in mammals, where these are the structures which is found in aquatic animals to detect the water pressure. In mammals, the carpus albicans is present, which is nothing but the carpus mammillare, which is a small rounded body present just behind the pituitary body. It is present only in the mammals, where it functions as recollection of memory in mammals. The lateral walls of the diencephalon, which is the optic thalami, it is connected by a bundle of nerve fibers called as the middle commissure, and this middle commissure is present in the mammals, which forms the broader area of the diencephalon. Diencephalon encloses a cavity called as the diocele, which forms the third ventricle, where the roof of the diocele, called as the anterior choroid plexus, which is made up of non-nervous vascular tissue, and it plays a major role in production of cerebrospinal fluid. The second ventricle and the third ventricle of the brain is interconnected by a small connection called as foramen of Monro. You can have a look at the picture of both dorsal and ventral wave, where the diencephalon possessing a small pineal body with a pineal stalk. On the ventral surface of the brain shows the presence of infundibulum with the hypophysis forming the pituitary body, the presence of carpus albicans, coming to the midbrain. In mammals, midbrain is also well developed, which is quite larger space of the brain, where it mainly acts as a junction between the forebrain and the hindbrain, where it mainly plays a role in relaying the transmission of nerve impulses between the forebrain and the hindbrain. In mammal's brain, the midbrain consists of 4 optic lobes, which are almost solid, spherical, ball-like structures, and these optic lobes are completely overlapped by the cerebral hemispheres. In mammals, the condition is called as corpora quadrigemina, where the midbrain consists of 4 optic lobes. This condition is called as corpora quadrigemina, where The two anterior larger lobes are called as the superior colliculi, which are mainly associated with the sense of vision, that is sight, whereas the two posterior smaller lobes which are associated with the hearing, that is sense of auditing. And these are the four lobes which is found only in the mammal's brain, and the condition is called as corpora quadrigemina. The floor of the midbrain consists of well developed a bundle of nerve fibers which mainly connects the diencephalon to medulla oblongata, where it fastens the relay of transmission of nerve impulses in the brain between the forebrain and hindbrain. Coming to the hindbrain. Hindbrain consists of cerebellum and medulla oblongata. In mammals, the cerebellum is very well developed. It is quite larger in size, where it forms the second largest part of the brain. It is elongated, which partly covers the midbrain in front and partly covers the medulla oblongata behind. In mammals, the cerebellum is very well developed. The surface is very rough due to the presence of much foldings, and the entire cerebellum is divided into 5 lobes, where a median large vermis and 2 lateral lobes and 2 floculi. In mammals, the development of the cerebellum indicates that they have a very good muscular coordination and shows well developed maintenance of muscular coordination as well as body equilibrium. In mammals, the 2 lateral sides of the cerebellum is found to be very thicker, and they are connected by a bundle of nerve fibers which are called as the pons oroli. Only in mammals the pons oroli is present, where it connects the 2 lateral walls of the cerebellum and which forms the major part of the cerebellum in the mammals. Apart from that, there is a presence of arbor vitae, which is nothing but the white matter in the cerebellum looks like a branching of the tree, which is seen in the grey matter of the cerebellum, and the branching of the white matter which extends in the grey matter of the cerebellum, and this is called as the arbor vitae. As a whole, in mammals, the cerebellum forms the second largest part of the brain. Comparatively, it is larger, it is elongated transversely and very well developed, divided into number of lobes, which correlates with the exceptional motor control abilities in the mammals to bring the good coordination in the muscles as well as very good maintenance of equilibrium in the body. You can have a look at the dorsal view of the brain. It shows the position of the cerebellum as well as the division of the cerebellum into lobes. Coming to the second part of the hindbrain, which is the medulla oblongata. In mammals, medulla oblongata is slightly broader, triangular, hollow structure which tapers posteriorly and continues as the spinal cord, where it is completely overlapped by the cerebellum. In mammals, restiform body found to be absent and ventral flexure is also absent. The ventral flexure is nothing but a bend between the medulla oblongata and the spinal cord. It is absent in case of mammalian brain. Medulla oblongata is well developed and it encloses a cavity called as the metacele or myelocele, which forms the fourth ventricle of the brain, where the roof of this ventricle is called as the posterior choroid plexus, which is made up of non-nervous vascular tissue, and it produces the cerebrospinal fluid, and it plays a very important role in circulating the nutrients as well as the oxygen to different parts of the brain and the spinal cord. This picture shows the position of medulla oblongata and the spinal cord and the posterior choroid plexus. The third ventricle of the brain, which is situated in the diencephalon called as the diocele, get connected with the fourth ventricle, which is situated in the medulla oblongata, through a connection called as iter or aqueduct of Sylvius, where the fourth ventricle continues as the spinal canal in the spinal cord. In mammalian brain, all the four ventricles are present. This picture shows the schematic representation of brain ventricles. That is the position of all the four ventricles in the brain. The first ventricle is found in the olfactory lobe called as the rhinocele. In mammals, olfactory lobes are well developed and encloses a space called as the rhinocele. It is well developed. It gets connected with the lateral ventricles, that is paracele, which is present in the cerebral hemispheres. The two lateral ventricles of the cerebral hemispheres get connected with the third ventricle, which is present in the diocele, through a connection called as the foramen of Monro. And the third ventricle is connected with the fourth ventricle through a connection called as the iter or the aqueduct of Sylvius. And the fourth ventricle continues as a spinal canal in the spinal cord. You can have a look at this picture where it shows the presence of all the four ventricles in the brain. In mammalian brain, there are totally 12 pairs of cranial nerve emerges out from the brain. Coming to the evolutionary significance of the mammalian brain. The brain reaches its highest development in mammals with better integration and mastery over the environment compared to all other vertebrates. where of all vertebrates, mammals have the biggest and most complex brain for their body size. The cerebrum is especially large and it controls the functions such as memory and learning. That is, the cerebral hemispheres reaching the status of a dominant integrating part of the brain and acting as coordinating centers of the brain, where the two cerebral hemispheres are interconnected by a thick nerve band called as the corpus callosum, and the cerebral cortex is most strongly distinguishes in mammals, where the cerebral cortex is increased in their thickness by the deposition of the six layered structure called as the neocortex or the isocortex. In mammals, midbrain consists of the four optic lobes forming the condition the corpora quadrigemina, having the optic lobes for the sight and two auditory lobes for hearing. In mammals, cerebellum is very well developed, forms a major part of the brain, and it is the neocerebellum in mammals, which is dedicated to supporting the cerebral cortex, where it shows the very good muscular coordination as well as shows the good maintenance of body equilibrium. In mammals, they show the ability to learn, which is the main reason that the large mammalian brain have been evolved. And maybe it is the primary reason for the success of mammals on the earth when it is compared to all other lower vertebrates. Students, hope you could understand in detail about evolution of brain in mammals, taking a rabbit as an example. Let us briefly recap by answering few multiple choice questions. A highly developed mammalian brain shows a considerable advance over amphibians, fishes, reptiles, or all of these. The answer is D. Yes, the mammalian brain shows a considerable advance over the amphibians, fishes, reptiles. What is corpus callosum? Is it a nerve band connecting the two cerebral hemispheres, or the nerve band connecting the forebrain to hindbrain, or both A and B, or none of these? The answer is A. Corpus callosum is a nerve band which connects the two cerebral hemispheres internally. What is neocortex or the isocortex? Is it a convolutional complexity of cerebrum or a complex six-layered structure on the cerebrum, or it is the anterior choroid plexus, or none of these? The answer is B. Neocortex or isocortex is the complex of six-layered structure on the cerebrum which is found in the mammalian brain. In mammal's brain, a condition called corpora quadrigemina, which means consisting of two optic lobes, or consisting of two auditory lobes, or is it consisting of two optic and two auditory lobes, or none of these? The answer is C. In mammalian brain, it shows the condition called corpora quadrigemina. It means the midbrain consists of four optic lobes. Two is for sense of sight and 2 is for sense of hearing. The answer is C, that is consisting of 2 optic and 2 auditory lobes. In mammalian brain, well-developed cerebellum is divided into 5 lobes, 3 lobes or 2 lobes or none of these. Yes, it is. The cerebellum is divided into 5 lobes in mammalian brain. How many pairs of cranial nerves found in mammalian brain? Is it 10 pairs, 12 pairs, 11 pairs or none of these? The answer is B. Mammalian brain, it consists of 12 pairs of cranial nerves. These are the few references from the books on the website. Thank you.